There. So I was asked to look into the serial killer that's recently, a deal has been worked when I did a video about the Ladybird Lake killings. I don't believe that guy, Mesa, although he is a serial killer because he killed 3 people in his lifetime. He's facing trial or plea bargain for 2 of the women that he killed, and he was out on parole after he had murdered a little child and sexually assaulted her. So yeah, he's definitely a serial killer, but he's not this serial killer. Now I did a video, I guess it's been a month or so ago, and basically they were trying to backtrack the coverage of various media sources claiming there was a serial killer, and so we're trying to backtrack and act like, oh, there's no serial killer. And I'm like, look, I've lived on a lake for well over a decade, and it's a very large lake. They're not pulling bodies out of our lake. We might have had 1 or 2 in the last, 10 years, and, occasional boating accident. But no, man, this is something very suspicious going on. So you've got a recent and even recent death. There was one last month in July. Now there's one again August 6th. You don't just... Now, for whatever reason, they're not classifying but one of them as a homicide, which to me is very, very bizarre. So let's take a look at this. This is now a petition that is calling for an investigation into the deaths at Ladybird Lake. So that's good that people are rising up and saying, nah, you ain't gonna keep telling us there ain't no serial killer. We're saying there is, because this ain't normal, quit gaslighting us. So they're taking action. And that's good. I'm glad to see people are doing that, and they're demanding an investigation. Petition says there have been at least 20 deaths at the lake, and the residents of Austin and family members of the deceased want answers. So I'm glad that the family members of the deceased who are speaking out. So I think somebody who actually lives there, I actually have family down there, but they're not anybody involved in this that I know of. But family members of the deceased speaking up, that says a lot. And the problem I have is that why is the media not speaking to these family members? Why aren't those family members out front and center or having their comments being explained and exposed to the media? It's like, why is there just this blackwashing of this issue? Generally, when you have a serial case, it is so huge. It is such a national phenomena. The true crime people and the authors, and I mean, it's a big deal when there's a suspected serial killer anywhere. So why are they trying to just act like there's not a serial killer happening? Why are all these deaths, is there just like some creepy curse on this lake? Ladybird Lake deaths that's going on there, whatever it is not normal, okay, to have this many deaths. It's not. Anybody who's lived around a lake for a long period of time, you will know this is not normal. So this is Fox 26. It's the local news there. Why is there no national media coverage of this? It's so, to me, that's in itself is suspicious. That you don't have more coverage of this. You don't have any coverage of the family members who are speaking up. They're not getting any coverage whatsoever other than just a tiny little mention that they're part of a petition demanding investigation into the deaths. So if you've got family members rising up and wanting an investigation, then you know they're not accepting what they're saying. That's how I take that. I think that the fact that the family members are not accepting their deaths, I think somebody who has the resources and the ability to go down there and pull those court records and go and find those family members, because obviously they're not getting coverage, right? Their voices are being basically hidden. I think that Fox 26 should, I don't know, maybe the family members don't want their names revealed, but they're saying that, that they know, from what I understand via the petition, is how they know about the family members are wanting answers. But when I hear family members are speaking up, that to me says, okay, there's something going on here. Why are the police behaving in this way? Why are the continued saying that there's no suspicious foul play in all of these deaths? You don't have this many types of deaths in a lake in this short period of time. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. Okay? So it it just makes it even more suspicious when cops are acting like there's nothing abnormal. I can understand the people petitioning. I understand. I definitely would be, if I lived there, I would definitely be signing that petition. Anyways, so the most recent death was, so the Dallas County Supervisors are going to consider the petition asking for vote to add 2 new board members. That's what that was about. But the petition about the Ladybird Lake demanding an investigation. And then Peter Scamardo said there's a new petition calling for the 20 deaths at Ladybird Lake since 2008 and the alleged assault of Christian Pugh in 2019 to be reopened as criminal investigations. Now what he's saying is 20 deaths are happening over a longer period of time. According to San Antonio Express News, the latest body found in Texas Lake, they're saying, is an isolated incident. They found a body upstream, not in, but the accusations that they were in or near Ladybird Lake. So there's been another one on August 6th, which is pretty recent. But again, instantly they say it's just an isolated incident. Come on. August 6th at 7:53 p.m. They apparently have given the killer a name already, regardless of what the authorities say. They have dubbed the serial killer as the Rainy Street serial killer. There's a rumor. They're saying that the rumor is that a Rainy Street serial killer is behind the deaths of people pulled from Ladybird Lake and nearby bodies of water. Now that's pointing to a specific killer. Now, whether or not that's who's behind it, saying that somebody was declared dead who's floating. Again, no sign of trauma to his body, just floating in the water. I think it's a very clever person. And automatically, without any further consideration, they determined it is not going to be investigated as a homicide. That's just bizarre. Here is the list of reported deaths. Now, remember I said earlier, someone was like pointing it out that there's been this amount of bodies since 2008. Kind of like it's happened over a long period of time. Like, why would they present it like that? Well, maybe there was a death in 2008, but all of these are recent, right? So here's the amount that has happened since 2022. Ricky Parks, July 2022. Christopher Gutierrez, December 2022. Jose Marino, December 2022. Kyle Thornton, December 2022. Jason John, February 2023. Clifton Axtell, March 2023. Christopher Hayes Clark, April 2023. Jonathan Honey, April 2023. Maga Dogali, June 2023. Unidentified female, February 2024. Identified person, April. Unidentified in April. And now this is old. This is not even include the ones in July and the one that just happened on August 6th. So I believe that's 14 in two years. The last count on this article was 12 bodies in 22 months. And then there have been more since this article. So now the count is at 14 in 24 months. So Nancy Grace has even dedicated an episode to the mysterious deaths and said, you don't have to go to law school to figure out there's something very, very wrong at Ladybird Lake, which I have to agree with her on that one. Family of Christopher Hayes Clark, said, we just want answers. That was from the family of the man pulled from the Ladybird Lake, left in the dark. So I think that the serial killer name is probably going to stick at this point. The Ladybird Lake serial killer is probably going to stick. And it's also known as the Rainy Street Killer. So I think they probably should just pick one. But irregardless, Ladybird Lake serial killer is probably more appropriate. Somebody that's obviously very clever to know if it is, I'm saying if it is a serial killing, it's somebody who knows how to drown somebody without making it look like there's any trauma. Because they're pretty much, if they're saying was true, and it's, I guess, would not to make excuses for authorities, because they shouldn't be sitting there acting like there's nothing out of the ordinary. They should be saying, well, it is not ordinary for this amount of deaths to happen in a short period of time, but as we see it, there's no evidence of foul play. So what are they doing? They need to do an investigation. They need to bring in professionals and experts to investigate the autopsies closer. Was there, any kind of toxicology, done where they could have given them a drug or a roofie or something that could have caused them to be unable to defend themselves when they're thrown in the water or something. Somebody, I don't know. I don't know, other than just some ordinary autopsies being done on these bodies that doesn't have the obvious sign of foul play. That's what's missing. We're not getting more of the details. So that's where somebody with resources or influence really needs to get involved and pull the records, see exactly what types of tests they have done, and, just try to hypothesize on exactly, if a serial killer is going to try to cause people to drown, and if it is a serial killer, he's, or she, or whoever is doing it, is having a grand old time about it, just making a mystery out of it on all these people, that he's going around killing people and throwing them in the water, and they're not even counted as murder, and so they're not even going to be investigated, so they aren't going to be looking for anybody, because if they're not classifying them as murder, then they can't do a criminal profile on somebody to see who would be doing it to find the person, and then that means that person could just keep on and keep on and keep on. But how many bodies are going to end up in this lake before they actually take it serious and start doing tests? Why aren't the feds involved in this and pulling their resources to say, hey, let's look into this, let's see, is there some way that a serial killer is killing these people and hiding evidence of foul play or trauma? What ways could somebody do this? But this is not normal. For them to keep saying that there's nothing going on here, that in itself is suspicious. So this is the statement from the Austin Police Department on the Ladybird Lake drownings. It says, is aware of speculations regarding the recent drownings in the Ladybird Lake. Although these cases are still under investigation and evidence is being analyzed. How is it being analyzed, right? At this time, there's no evidence in any of these cases to support allegations of foul play. While each incident has occurred at the lake, the circumstances, exact locations, demographics surrounding these cases vary. Our investigators approach every case with an open mind, objectively examine all available evidence. We work closely with the Travis County Medical Examiner's Office, who apparently is failing very largely on finding out how they're killing these people, because this is not normal. Anyways, which conducts a parallel investigation into all the deaths. The medical examiner performs autopsies in each of these types of death investigations. The results of these autopsies have not revealed any trauma to the bodies nor indication of foul play. One common theme of the drownings in Austin this year is the combination of alcohol and easy access to Ladybird. Listen, I live around a lake. Do you know how many bars there are literally on the lake? Come on now. Get real. I live around a lake and there are bars everywhere on the lake. Get real. Alcohol and access to the water. Yeah, try another one. Anyways, many of the access points can be challenging to see at night. Again, I live at a lake that's over 832 shoreline miles and many, many, many places of coves and rural spots and surrounded by forest. We do not have this going on. We got all kinds of people drinking. Anytime you go down, you'll see places around the lake. There's going to be broken beer bottles because people will be drinking at the lake. And they got water, they got alcohol, and they got, and we don't have this. So just saying. Anywho, the parks in which most of these drownings have occurred are park areas that close at 10 and occur after the park closes. We advise above all the rules on park closures. And you haven't put cameras up? I'm just saying that I think that people need to maybe petition the FBI to get involved and do some of their own tests, to do some examinations, some very serious toxicology examinations of anything that they can find that would be chemicals of some sort, is what I suspect, if they're not in any way binding them and then drowning them. It's people that are saying to family members that this is not normal. Then I don't know. I personally, it just feels like a serial killer. This is not normal. And it's somebody who's figured out a way to cause a drowning without any ability for it to be traced that, that they were murdered. Anywho's, did they examine them for some kind of chemical or drug that they immobilized them, or like maybe they couldn't move or something, to swim, or intoxicants? I mean, this is the things that people have a right to know. What kind of examination are they doing? Okay, I think that would help people if they said, listen, we've done every kind of toxicology, every type of DNA, every type of test that we can do. But those kinds of tests, they cost a lot of money, and I think the feds need to get involved. Because they have better experts, and to do some examinations of the remains or whatever, because I think that they will find something. But anyways, I think that's going to be it on this one. As far as Raul Mesa Jr., that's a bad case, and it's also in Austin. He's absolutely not involved in this Ladybird Lake. I don't believe, just because he's in jail and this stuff has been going on, right? And it's continuing on with the recent one since August 6th. But he was a serial killer. He killed a little girl, an 8-year-old girl in the 1980s, and he did not get life in prison. He got out on parole, and then he killed 2 more women, elderly women. Women his age, but still they were elderly women. So, there's no telling how many people that he's probably killed in his lifetime. Being somebody who kills a little girl and then women, he probably killed other people. But I do not believe that he's involved in the Ladybird Lake killings, because he's in jail. Now, if he had got arrested and then the killing stopped, then yeah, he'd be your guy. But they're continuing to go on. It's sad that this guy was able to, kill more people. I don't know how somebody was able to kill a little girl like that and then never get out of prison again. Because somebody who's able to kill a little girl, that's the type of person that will repeat kill little kids. I mean, it's just... Anyways, and then he killed women. Somebody who will abuse women and children are dangerous. Anywho, I hope you have a good weekend.